Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now.
Ask her that. You don't want to hold her accountable. Women don't want to hold other women accountable. So why haven't you asked her? Did you cheat on Martell? Why did you cheat on him? Why did you do that?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't ask her.
Hello everybody and welcome in. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. That's season 6, episode 23. Okay, so we pick up with Melody, who went to go stop by some storage unit with Kiki and her husband, and she told Kiki that she had a drug test with her for Kiki to take so she could prove them wrong. Now, the first thing Kiki says is, Marsau willing to take a lie detecting test? Which, I mean, why does that even matter? Because those aren't even reliable or admissible in court. But I'm surprised because Kiki did end up taking the test, and she gave it to Melody, and they read out loud the results, which were negative, negative, negative. So if she really did take it, she's clean. I'm not saying they're lying, but we can't also 100% say that they're right, because this was, TV editing, and it was a test out of a box. But for the sake of it, let's just say that it's true. So she's 100% clean. So that's great because she is vindicated. Now, she's still wrong for what she did, but at least they don't have to say that it was due to drugs. Then Melody, y'all know Melody is so damn messy. She says, why are y'all even moving? And they say, because our son is going to a different school for sports. He's a really good athlete, so his chances could be better in another school to get a scholarship. And Melody says, Tifanny made it seem like y'all are moving for some shady stuff. And that, of course, causes anger with Kiki and so I'm sure this is going to fester with Kiki and Tifanny soon. But that was that. The next scene is Leticia and Marco. She's packing up because they're going to go on a family trip for about 5 days, so that's great. Give her some time to relax and not have to be stressed. But as far as the barbecue, Marco is really happy that him and Stormi were sort of able to make up and fix their differences. Remember when he went to go hug her after she was crying? Then he mentioned Kiki, and there's something about the way that Marco was speaking that he sounded very vulnerable, because he said that he's more hurt than angry with Kiki, because at the end of the day she's family, so he does love her in some way. But it looks like Tisha is the one that's definitely over Kiki. Then he mentions something about her needing to take more accountability, and Tisha's confused and says, could you give me an example of what you're talking about? And he says something about when they were meeting at the Black Expo and she didn't want to take accountability, that it was unorganized after Melody said it. I don't know, that last part was a little bit weird. But then we move on to Melody. She's in her house and she's going to do a party, a big celebration to celebrate her name change. She's going to take out the Holt legally on everything. So they're planning that. Her mom is there, and she says that she wants to invite about 20 to 25 people. Nothing too big, but she's big on wanting security. And I'm just like, really? Security for a name changing ceremony? Okay. But here's the thing. Up to that point, Melody still hadn't even read the letter, so she didn't really even know if the court had approved the change. So she gets the letter, opens it, and reads it out loud. And it's kind of sad because as she's reading it, they're like sort of showing flashback scenes of her and Martell, like very early on when they were still married, how they were able to build everything with his last name. I mean, she's always been Melody Holt. But as she's reading the letter, it does say that they did approve. Her name will now be Melody Shari Rodgers. So she has officially closed the Holt chapter of her life. Wow, good for her, but at the same time, it's kind of sad how so many years and memories time can change, and it's crazy. But I do wonder, and I'm not knocking her down. If she wanted to change her name, that's totally fine. But I wonder if maybe it would have been easier for her to keep it, since those are all of her children's last names. But anyway, the next scene, Stormi comes over to Kiki's house, and Kiki's explaining why she's having to move. And then Stormi asks, how is she doing? Kiki begins by apologizing for snatching those cards from Stormi, which that was funny. But then Kiki begins to explain why she got mad with Tisha to begin with. She says Tisha didn't say hi, and because Tisha's wife and her decided not to say anything to me and ignore me. Now, Keke is refusing to call Marsau her husband. Now she is referring to him as Tisha's wife, a madam. Keke also says that she regrets being cool with Tisha because, according to her, Tisha has been like this since they were 13, always has been doing bad things to her, and she wishes there was no love. There's something about the tone of voice that Keke was speaking about Tisha, and I think this is the first time I really saw Keke speaking about Tisha with so much rage and anger. Stormi says, well, Marsau was really firm on you being on drugs. But here's the thing. Keke says that she wasn't expecting to get into it with them at the barbecue. She was expecting to go at it with Tifanny. Because a few days earlier, Tifanny did an interview with Carlos King in which Tifanny said she didn't like Keke, she wasn't friends with her, and she was not going to be friends with her because she was too problematic and liked to argue with everyone. Obviously, she didn't get into it with Tifanny because Tifanny arrived after Keke had already left. But Keke says that she's really pissed at Tifanny, and even goes as far as to tell Stormi that Tifanny has been talking crap about her products, about Stormi's products. And she says that Tifanny has a problem. Tiffany's probably jealous of her. Listen now, I don't like Tifanny like that, but I don't think she's jealous of Keke at all. But yeah, Keke was definitely acting up in this animated. I don't know. Then we move on to Tisha, Melody, and Kimmi. They go to some sort of workout place, and Melody had a trainer there. There was some tension between Tisha and the women. It was clear. She seemed put off. But they began with the workouts. You know, this is the second time we've seen them working out. I remember last week we saw Courtney and Martell and Chris. This time it was the ladies' turn, so they are doing some good workouts. That's always great. After the workout, they are just sitting and talking. Kimmi talks a little bit about her health. She has tried to exercise as much as she can, but it's pretty hard to do so. Then they ask Tisha how she's doing, and Tisha says that it's been hard because she says that she feels like she's being put back in the past. So according to her, Keke has always been like this as well. She says that's the reason why she really wasn't speaking to her prior to Keke coming onto the show. She says that Keke used to do things like threaten her, so that's why she didn't want to talk to her. And you know, she says that having Keke's behavior plus drugs makes it dangerous. Melody says, you think she's on drugs? And Tisha says, I don't think I know she is. Then Melody, this is why I tell y'all she is the main pot stirrer. She says, Tisha, did anything happen between y'all before this barbecue? And Tisha says, I'm about to go. Because she knows exactly what's going on. And Mel knows damn well what she's doing because her and Keke met. And Keke told her everything about the threesome and the cheating. So Melody continued to insist, well, I saw Keke, and she says that she feels bad about the last time y'all talked. So since Tisha knows exactly what Melody is trying to do, she knows that Melody doesn't understand that no means no. So she gets up and leaves. And I understand because, you know what? Tisha doesn't want them to run with this narrative, and I understand. Okay, then the last scene that we get is Martell going over to Nell Fletcher's house. She says that she noticed that he tried to talk to Melody at the barbecue, even though she didn't. He says that he's going to continue to try and talk to her forever, you know. And then she sort of mentions the name change ceremony, and he says that he had heard, I'm sorry, not the ceremony, just about the name change. He had heard about the name change, but then she tells him about the ceremony, which is news to him. And he feels a little bit weird about it. He understands that her changing her name is like really solidifying everything, and I think he feels bad. But Miss Nell, when she mentioned the party, Martell got a little mad, and he said that he doesn't want his friends going. He wants to know who's going, so he'll know who his real friends are, because for him it's like a slap in the face. And I was thinking, well, what a narcissist. I mean, if this name change is a slap in your face, then what about your infidelity and a baby out of wedlock, Martell? What was that equal to? But Miss Nell says that she doesn't understand why he's getting mad, and Martell then says that Miss Nell knows that Melody cheated on him. Miss Nell says that she doesn't know that, and he says that that is true, that he cheated on her. And she said, I know you cheated on her, but I've never heard about it the other way around. He says, in fact, it's a fact, and that she should ask Melody. Nell says that she can't believe it, and Martell said, yes, Melody had an affair with me with multiple men. Miss Nell's having a hard time believing that, but Martell says you need to ask her because it's true. He claims that he has proof, And that she one thing that I noticed is that he continued to say, you need to ask her. Nell says, all I know is that cheating is bad. And Martell says, well, then if that's the case, then you should stop being friends with Melody because she is a big cheater. He says that they always come for the men, but they never want to hold the women accountable. But this confused me, you guys, because Martell seemed so certain in the fact that Melody cheated on him. So now I'm wondering, what's the truth? Because for him to be so firm, so like, I have proof, like I know what I'm saying, it left me a little confused. And I'm pretty sure that Nell is going to ask Melody. But that was all we got this episode. Next episode looks like we are going to see the Fletchers a little bit more, because I think they're going to get them like a family scene. So I can't wait for that. As far as this episode, you guys, what were your reactions to Keke and her taking the drug test? Do you think it was real? And what do you think about Melody changing her name? Do you think it's a good idea to have a party? And finally, what do you think about what Martell said? Do you think there could be any truth to the fact that Melody cheated on him first? Let me know in the comments, you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye.